It's happening again. It's happening again. It's almost showtime. After a very long time, guys. Welcome to it. Yet another session. As you can see, I'm 2 hours ahead of you guys. I'm at the Business Bay in Dubai. The Forex Expo is starting tomorrow. We have the biggest Forex Expo starting tomorrow in Dubai. And yeah, man, we're here to learn and really root le lona ka ko gore how the world is moving and whatnot. But before we go there, before we go deep into it, let me just look at what happened yesterday on Friday. This is what we had on Friday, our fundamentals, right? Today's market, we're just gonna look at just a few things like our news, what to expect in the market, and please don't forget to like our video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and so on and so forth, right? So as you can see, this is what we had. We had more like a whitewash. We had all blues for the dollar. We had like the most massive news ever in a very long time. We had a very positive NFP. Right, as you can see, the unemployment rate was lower than the forecast, so it was positive. The unemployment, the non-farm payroll data was also positive, almost double what they had forecast, right? As you can see, we had 254,000 jobs that were created in the month of September, as opposed to the 147,000 that they had anticipated, right? So with that said, we had a very bullish dollar. We had a very strong dollar, which I believe will also happen. Will also move into this week, right? As you can see, we have. I didn't change my time zone to this one. So as you can see, today it's the 6th of August. So what am I saying? The 6th of October, and it's a holiday in Australia, right? And then on Monday, as you can see, this is what we have. We don't have much on Monday. So I hope and wish, not hope and wish, but from the experience that I have, what we're expecting is we might be seeing a very bullish dollar, which emanates from the fact that we had a very strong dollar on Friday. So things like gold, your GBP USD should be selling like crazy. And we also have a holiday in China, as you can see, which is tomorrow, the 7th of October, right? And then moving right along to Tuesday, there isn't much as well. It's a quiet Monday and Tuesday, as you can see. We don't have any major news, especially in our session, like the European session and the New York session. And then we have the official cash rate on Wednesday, which is going to affect the New Zealand dollar. As you can see, they want to reduce the interest rate for New Zealand dollar, which will I'm sure it will weaken the dollar, but we just have to wait and see how the market receives the news, how the market digests the news, how the market extrapolate is a very fancy word, how the market how the market receives the news. You know what I'm saying? So usually when they reduce the interest rate, the currency becomes a bit weak, right? But depending on the fundamentals and the technicals and everything else, we might see a strong New Zealand dollar. But first, we need to look at the technicals and see what the market is saying before we can jump into any conclusions. You don't just blindly come here and sell off the New Zealand dollar against vis-a-vis whatever, because if you do that, you're gonna get bent so bad. right? And you'll be like, this thing is not working. But you just have to do the right thing. Wait for the right moment before you pull the trigger, right? And as you know, every Wednesday we have crude oil inventories, which happens around 4:30. And we have FOMC minutes, which will be followed by on Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to have a very quiet market, right? Which will be gearing up for the CPI, which is on Thursday, the 10th of October, right? The CPI, we expect it to be, I haven't really looked at it, but we expect a somewhat negative CPI, right? So that the dollar kind of cools down, because we've had a whole lot of news that have been supporting the dollar for quite some time, and we'll see how it goes. But with that said, I guess on Friday we close it off with. Remember, on Thursday, we also have unemployment claims, which will be coming out at exactly the same time with our CPI. So it's more like a double whammy. You just have to be careful there so that you know what you're doing. Don't just blindly go in and say, you know what I mean? So, then on Friday, we close it off with the GDP for... so tired. For the GDP report for the pound, right? For the GBP, right? And then we have the unemployment rate and the employment change for the CAD, which is more like unemployment rate and what else? NFP for the CAD, right? NFP, which is more like your employment change. Then we'll close it off with core PPI for the dollar, right? With that said, we can jump into this week's fundamentals. As you can see, this is what we have. After the news were released on Friday, this is what we saw. This is what happened. We had a very bearish gold, because the dollar was very strong. After that, there was a bit of a market correction or price correction, and price went all the way up through the roof, came back down. Then this is where the market settled, right? From what I anticipate from tomorrow, we expect the price of gold to push a bit up and then to be bearish during the latter part of the day. Meaning the dollar, we still expect a strong dollar, and we expect price to just push a bit up and then to be bearish because you can see there is a bit of that order block there, or that resistance that you see at the top there. If you mark here, you can clearly see what I'm talking about. If you mark here, you can clearly see what exactly I am talking about, right? So we expect price to do what? We expect price for gold to push a bit up to there, and then from there we expect the price of gold to be bearish, right? That's if it doesn't break this. If it breaks this, which is highly unlikely, I don't see that happening. We will see this. If it breaks out, then we expect it to maybe range a bit here, and then it will push up to the upside. But from what I anticipate, this is the more likely scenario of what's going to happen with gold. So when we wake up in the morning tomorrow around 6 or 7, depending which time zone you are in, obviously I'm going to wake up before you guys because I'm going to the Expo. I am going to the Expo. So yeah, man, this is what you should anticipate, right? And let me see. If you look at the crude oil, what is it that's happening with crude oil? Crude oil, we had a very strong dollar, so you can see it's also pushing a bit up. So we expect this bullish momentum to also keep keep pushing up a bit. But as you can see, the price for crude oil is almost overbought right now. Yeah, man, but it's not really clear what's going to happen, right? And then moving right along to your GBP USD, this is what we've been anticipating. It's been so bearish. It's been so bearish because we've been having a very strong dollar. That's why we are anticipating a negative CPI on Wednesday. But don't just say, I said it's going to be negative. Look at what's going to play out before the CPI. Then you'll have an idea of what's really going to happen during CPI day on Thursday. Actually, it's on Thursday, right? Thursday, 10th of, is it Thursday or Wednesday? Somewhere around there. But as you can see, this is what has been happening with this has been a bullish dollar, bullish GBP USD. After that, price failed to create higher highs, which led to price pulling all the way back. And we expect this bearish momentum to continue again tomorrow, right? Because if you break it down to a smaller time frame, you see exactly what I'm talking about there. So as you can see, price went that direction, it pulled a bit back. So from here, we expect it to be a bit bearish going in that direction because of a very bullish dollar. And then when we come to indices, what's happening with indices? Indices like your DAX 40, they've been very bullish. They've been very bullish, surprisingly, but the dollar is a bit it's a bit bullish as well. It's surprising to see this happening because usually a strong dollar, we anticipate we anticipate all the other things to be, all the indices to be a bit bearish. But the market being the market, it always plays out the way it wants, right? And we just have to go with what we see. As you can see, the FTSE 100, or which is your UK 100, the top 100 companies in the UK, price has been bullish there, bearish here. So we have this support and that resistance at the top there. That order block, other people call it order blocks, others call it support and resistance. It's one and the same thing. It's just like that people like using different names for different things, right? Some people want to sound a bit fancy and a bit more learned, but it's one and the same thing. As you can see, price has been touching there, coming back down, going up there, failing to break up there, coming back to grab some liquidity, then pushing up. So we'll see how it's going to pan out tomorrow. We anticipate, we anticipate it to touch here and pull a bit down. That's if it doesn't break this. If price breaks this high, then it should push a bit up. And then before we close it off, let's just look at the dollar index. This is our dollar index. You can see how it's been pushing, going all the way up in the sky, right? So there's a bit of a pullback. So the pullback might result in there's a bit of a pullback, which is what I told you about on gold. That gold is gonna push a bit up because of this pullback, and then the bullish momentum should continue after that. Right? We don't anticipate a lot of volatility on Monday, but like a lot of movement in the prices and the indices and the whatnot. But the market being the market, we'll see how it pans out. Right? I wanted to close it off with NASDAQ. This is NASDAQ. As you can see, this is your NASDAQ. NASDAQ is also on the up. It's also on the up, as you can see. But as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of power to push up. And it has almost formed a double bottom on the H1 time frame, which is like boom, comes back, boom. If it fails to push up there, then we expect a bearish movement where price is gonna sell off for some time, right? And remember, keep trading, keep making money, keep pushing. The sky is the limit with this thing. With Forex, you can wake up with literally you can wake up with literally 500 pula and close off the day on like 4,000 or something. Just like that. You just need to know when to pull the trigger, when to enter your trades, when to exit, and so on and so forth. Your risk reward ratio, and so on and so forth, right? You need to know when to take your profits, you need to know when to cut your losses, and you just keep going. Like, you know what I mean? So with that said, I wish you guys, or we wish you guys a very profitable week here at Bots Forex Institute. A very profitable week. Keep making money, keep soaring, and the sky is not even the limit, guys. All the best for the new week. Adios, amigos. Bye.